So here's 5 quarterbacks you should start this week heading into week 11. The first guy's Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. Ever since Julio Jones came back in week 6, Matt Ryan, he's been hitting, he's been connecting with all his receivers. He's getting the job done. He's getting about 20 plus fantasy points each and every week. And Ryan, he could explode this week versus New Orleans. There's no Drew Brees. You know, the Falcons, I know they're out of it most likely, but they're still going to play hard. Other Falcons, they got Akeem Morris. He's got these guys playing pretty good for this team. And Ryan, he's got all his weapons. Todd Gurley's having a decent year. He's got Hurst. Calvin Ridley's going to be back. Julio, he's just about 100%. That bye week helping him, and teams that could throw on New Orleans. And I think Ryan, he's going to throw for a big ball game in this one versus the Saints. So he's the first guy I'm going to start. The second guy is Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals. Last week it was a tough ball game for Joe Burrow and the Bengals, but this week he's got an easier matchup versus Washington in a game where I think we could see a mini shootout of sorts in this one. Burrow, he's got good weapons. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. I think he needs Joe Mixon back there to get him more security, a big back that could handle the workload of 25 to 30 touches a game. But Burrow, I like the matchup. Washington, they've been decent versus quarterbacks, but Burrow, he's going to throw, and he's going to throw a lot, and I think he has a good game. So Joe Burrow, he's the second guy I'm going to start. The third guy is Phillip Rivers of the Indianapolis Colts. This week, the Colts and Green Bay Packers in a good big ball game at 4:30. This game is, it's going to be a good game, back and forth. Rivers, he's a gamer. You know, this guy, he don't give up to the final whistle is Phillip Rivers. He's been throwing the ball better. Michael Pittman Jr.'s back. He's emerged now, I think, is the number one receiver over there after coming off a 6-catch, 101-yard game last week versus Tennessee. Rivers, he loves the game. And right now, the Colts, they're in commission of winning that division after beating the Titans last week. So Rivers, I think, versus this Green Bay team, he could go out there and throw for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. The last 2 out of 3 fantasy days, Rivers has cracked 25 fantasy points and has thrown for over 300 yards. And I think once again here versus Green Bay, no weather he's got to worry about. The game's in Indianapolis, indoors. So I think Rivers has a good game in this one. So go start Phillip Rivers. He's available also in a bunch of fantasy leagues, 75% I would say about. So start Rivers. The fourth guy I'm going to start at quarterback is Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. Cousins, he's looked good the last few weeks. The Vikings are rolling now, winning 3 in a row versus all 3 division opponents. And now this week he's got a dream matchup versus a very weak Dallas Cowboy defense. Cousins, he's going to spread the ball around. He's got 2 good receivers in Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, who we saw both had great games versus the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. And this week versus the Dallas Cowboys, I don't expect nothing less. It's a nice game. Minnesota's home. I think they're going to win this game easily. The spread's 8.5, and I could see Jefferson and Thielen both eat in this one versus Dallas and cook those things. So I think Minnesota, they're easily going to score anywhere from 24 to 30 points. And Cousins, I could see him finish the day anywhere from 250 to 300 yards and 2 to 3 touchdowns. So Kirk Cousins, he's an easy start this week, I think. And the fifth and final guy I'm starting at quarterback this week's Cam Newton of the New England Patriots. Patriots have won 2 in a row now. Newton, he's playing better, but as far as fantasy purposes, his stats still aren't all that great. He had 24 fantasy points versus the Jets and then 18 versus Baltimore. But this week he's got a great matchup versus Houston. They're going to Houston, is New England. An indoor game, no weather you got to worry about. And that's key at this time of the year. Guys playing indoors. You don't got to worry about the wind, rain, snow, whatever's going to go on. So Newton, I like him for that reason. Houston, they can't stop no one. They give up the 7th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. And I think Newton, he could have a 25 to 30-point fantasy day at the quarterback position. So that's 5 quarterbacks. I'm going to start with confidence here in Week 11.